And it's your girl Alicia, and this is the Luxe Hour Podcast. Join us weekly as we encourage Black women to elevate into luxury.
Yes. All right, y'all. Welcome back. It's good to see everybody again.
It is.
This week. Last week we started with Treat of the Week.
We did.
Because I forgot.
Same.
But this week we back at it. So we have a red. Alicia, if you could pass me the wine of the week, please.
Absolutely, darling.
So for those of you who are new, we start off our podcast every week with a wine of the week. We alternate between reds, whites, pinks, and everything else in between. This week is a red. This wine is by a company called Llano. Okay, so it is a sweet red. Llano sweet red American red wine. It says Llano Estacado wines have won national and international acclaim and have become the pride of Texas. Oh, a local wine.
Oh.
Taste for yourself the premium wine with the accent of Texas. Llano Sweet Red is a medium sweet with a smooth finish and aromas of blackberries and cherries. We recommend this unique wine be served slightly chilled, which it is, or at room temperature with spicy Texas food, Southwest cuisine, and Oriental dishes. I'm interested to try this because they rarely recommend sweet wines with spicy foods, and this is supposed to be a sweet red. I do need the corkscrew though.
Oh my God. Courtesy of Nordstrom.
The cutest wine opener ever.
It's so cute. I love this little picture of the wine up top. Okay.
Okay, time to grab this. You know what? I'm gonna walk y'all through how to use these because I feel like people never. Okay,
Be so helpful.
Don't look at my nails, y'all. I know that this is the second podcast, but as y'all could, we recording it back to back, so my nails. Okay,
they're in shambles. It's okay, guys. We're all in shambles.
But this is how you use this one. So it looks like a pocket knife. You take this little metal flap out so that you expose the actual corkscrew. Okay. Okay, once not me trying to corkscrew the knife. You take that corkscrew and then just like you would use a regular one, using the other two sides as anchors for your hands. You want to push that in there, and then you just want to twist it down.
Literally twisting down, guys.
Now this is the part that's tricky, so I hope y'all can see this. This part here, it needs to latch onto the edge of the bottle. So as you can see, I'm kind of maneuvering this piece to get that latched on. Once that's on there, you want to pull up like a lever system. Of course it won't embarrass me today.
Of course. Whit is a pro at this, guys. I promise you. Like, every time. She's a pro. Talk your girl.
Yes, ma'am. I just want to get it out here without breaking it into the cork. Because, you know, once you break it into the cork, it's just like,
it's a done
you
deal.
just take the wheel. It just does not want to come out.
We had a bottle like that at our game night. It was doing the same drama.
Which one was it? The one I was at, or you talking about a different one?
Yeah, the one you were at.
Child, I have to stand up and get some.
Don't get your elbow in there, girl. Because if you can't do it, I know I can't.
No, it's not gonna happen on this week. I'm gonna go down a little deeper, but I don't think that's gonna help. It's not trying to come out of here. And it's slowly coming up, but not
as quick. And sometimes,
wait a minute now.
Sometimes, guys, this will happen when you're opening wine. So don't get discouraged.
Yes, y'all, the bottle's just
depending on the bottle. This does happen. It certainly happens. So
y'all, we almost there now. But Jesus, can we just pull one out for the homies? Jesus.
That's all we're gonna do, Lord. Here she comes.
Here she comes. Hey, girl, we've been waiting on you, girl. What you doing?
We've been sad, honey.
Okay.
Your friends been waiting on you.
Okay, it's
bow. Bada bing, bada boom.
Bing boom, bada beep bow. Okay. We earned this.
We did.
We worked for
It
this.
must be good. You think it's
It gotta be.
It has to be.
Look at y'all. Look at the.
It has to be
Can y'all see
great.
what the bottom has been through?
It's been through some things.
Okay.
Jesus. Fix it, Lord.
Appreciate you. Y'all know. I need you to work on your corks, baby. You need to get a little olive oil around the edges on or something. Something got to happen with the corks.
Okay.
All right, let's pour it up.
Nice
Since we
flow.
just used these, we don't have to swap them now. I'll take yours. There you go.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome. I'm scared to get this cork off of here.
Literally.
Okay.
I'm a little frightened myself.
Okay, and fold that bad boy back up if you still here for the tutorial.
Rinse it off and dry it,
The
please.
world's worst tutorial, thanks to y'all know. Y'all know it's one.
I promise, guys, she's
amazing.
amazing. I really promise she's amazing.
Okay.
Tell me everything I know for what it's worth.
Oh Lord. Okay, let's open this.
It must be a treat. That's what I believe.
Let's see. So y'all know we start by swirling the wines. Swirling the wine opens it up so that you can get the fullness of the taste and the smell.
Jesus.
What a smell. This is a red for sure.
What are you catching?
This is both. This smells like a lot of plum, a lot of blackberry. This smells like a Cabernet almost. Like it smells like a deep red, but it's supposed to be sweet. So let's see.
Mm. What's the verdict?
I'm gonna let you try it. I want Alicia to try it first because she loves sweet red. So I'm gonna let you try it first.
Okay. Smells good. The smell is what I expected.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this one is 12%.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely quite strong.
It smells like a big bitter Merlot.
Definitely. But it's so sweet. It's so sweet. You can definitely taste the berries. It's just it tastes like an explosion of berries in my mouth. But even for it to be 12%, it is significantly sweet and it's not bitter.
Like it's almost giving fruit punch.
It's definitely almost
like it's almost giving fruit punch.
There's no bitterness, like none. For a wine, there's no bitterness.
Like it's not even a little bit. Like if you hate the taste of wine and you feel like wine is always bitter, there's not even a little bit in this one.
So for starters, the bottle that gave us all the trouble, it was definitely what it is worth. Okay,
all
the
right,
Lord
really
bless this one. All right,
it's good.
Yeah, that's
good.
It's pretty good.
It reminds me of a wine. Y'all know we're from St. Louis. There's a local wine to that region. It's called St. James, and it's a sweet red, and it tastes almost exactly like that. That was like my intro into wine.
See, I wasn't drinking wine, man.
Girl, they like $6 bottles. This is when I thought I was doing something, baby. I was like, I drink wine. And it was a little St. James, girl. It tastes like Kool-Aid. But this is really good. If you love a sweet red, you have to try it. It's good.
It's definitely one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites.
It's almost too sweet for me. I can still taste the sweetness.
Honestly, it almost tastes like juice. But my question would then be, how much was the bottle? And I feel like that's something that we never do, but
we never do. This was $10.99. I got it from CVS.
CVS
in a rush.
CVS is your friend.
Yes.
Okay. Especially if you have a little care card, or
yeah,
you know, to where you can get discounts. Usually, it takes a couple bucks off the wine.
It will take 40% off if you have that coupon. So $6 to buy 12%. Super sweet.
Honestly, yeah, that's super sweet. So if you're, like you said, if you're not into the bitter taste, or if that's what deters you, this would be perfect.
But if on the flip side, if you don't like a sweet wine, go the other way. This one ain't for you, homeboy.
It's definitely sweet.
All right. What's next?
All right, guys. So you know what time it is. So it is time for the treat of the week, ladies. And for those of you guys who are joining us for the first time, I know Whitney's doing a treat of the week. Treat of the week. So if you're joining us for the first time, the treat of the week is essentially what luxury that you indulged in for the week. And again, there's no limit to in whatever aspect. So I'm going to kick it off to my girl Whit. What was your treat of the week?
My treat of the week, this week, it actually, y'all, it wasn't even for me. Wow. It was here. I finally bought Alicia's birthday present. Somebody's birthday is coming up. And I bought it, and it's so cute. And it's the treat of the week. Treat of the week. But I can't go into too much detail, obviously.
My God.
But my treat of the week was a gift for my friends. You turning 30, flirty 30. 30 and fun.
Girl, you know the older that I get, the more emotions that I get. Don't make me cry today.
Girl.
Because that was so sweet. At first, it's like, oh my God, that's so thoughtful, even though that's so with y'all. To be really thoughtful to say, okay, my treat of the week was for somebody else, but
after 10 weeks, about time. But no, my treat of the week was a birthday gift for you. So I'm excited, and it's luxe and it's cute.
Thanks, sis.
No problem, girl.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I love surprises. I really love surprises. Like, so are you, okay, so with that being said, you're a giver though. Like, so I think that it's interesting, but a treat of the week, if you are a giver, that can absolutely mean giving.
It can for sure be a gift. Yeah, it can for sure be given to others. I like that stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So what was yours?
Oh God. I can't even think.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, guys. Okay. All right. So my treat of the week is actually something that I am again wearing. I'm not gonna start making this a thing, guys, but again, it's something that I'm wearing. So I actually, it's from my sister's cosmetic line, which is Whipped Cosmetic. Yes, you heard Whipped. That is WHIPT Cosmetic. Whipped. So I actually, speaking of birthdays, I had got with some for her birthday. Oh my God, last year. Damn. So it was a lipstick though,
and I still got it, and it's still the bomb.
So real reviews from real customers. And I believe you went back and bought some other stuff too, right?
I haven't yet, but I need to.
Okay. Well, dang, I guess I thought, but yes, okay. I thought you, whatever. I definitely had thought you did for whatever reason. I don't know. But anyway, okay. But they do have some really good lip gloss. So I'm actually wearing, I'm wearing Fenty as the gloss over this Fenty Glow. But the treat of the week was actually purchasing the Aphrodisiac, which is the lipstick that I use to line my lips tonight. And I used it to line my lips on the previous episode, so episode 8 as well. If you guys are looking for that nostalgia lip from the 90s, you know, where the girls were lining their, you know, the Foxy Browns and the Lil' Kims, they were lining their lips. Nia Long, you know, Janet Jackson, everyone was lining their lips with like a brown or a black. So what I've actually decided to do, because her lipsticks are like lip stains, literally you have to scrub it off.
No, literally. Like, it's going to be there all day.
It's perfect. So literally Whipped Cosmetics, they have a lipstick that is called Aphrodisiac, which is perfect for this brown. So it's a deep brown that I have lining my lips. Again, I've tasted wine since then, and I wore it on the last episode. We recorded the last episode as well. So I've had it on for a little bit, and I've tasted a few things. I've even ate, if I'm being completely honest. We had me a little sandwich. But that was my treat of the week. Again, not only supporting my big sister, also supporting the Black-owned business, supporting a woman boss, supporting, honestly, a great cosmetic brand. If that was not my sister, I would be here giving you guys the same review. But literally, I love her products. I have her lip gloss as well. I like Bare All. That's her lip gloss. It's usually a clear lip gloss. I also do pair that with this and put it over that. And again, this is not an ad. you know, I know that this is my second episode of wearing something and also talking about it being a treat of the week. But again, luxury to me is supporting the people that I love, supporting Black-owned businesses, but also that offer amazing customer service and that offer luxury products. This is not the cheap beauty supply lipstick or lip gloss. You can feel in the consistency, the packaging. So it's the ad is Whipped Cosmetics, which is the name. So WHIPT Cosmetics. But great stuff. Same thing for their website. So it definitely was a treat of the week for me. Like knowing that my sister knows that her sister balled out, you know, and bought several of her products, but I also genuinely am obsessed with them. So yeah, it's just you know, and it's perfect for the fall, girl. Like have you started getting lipsticks for the fall or different fall colors?
So y'all know I wear one color on my lips and one color on my nails. So the answer is no. I wear the same. I wear this
red. Yeah.
It's like a
deep
pink,
red.
Yeah, it's like a fuchsia.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's true.
It's not so purple, but it's not like red, but it's this color. And this is the one that I wear.
Yeah. That literally year round. And it pairs well with your skin. Ew. Have you bought any brown boots?
I have.
Okay.
I have. I bought a pair of booties and a pair of knee highs.
Yeah.
I also brought a pair of they almost look like latex. Brown leggings. They like chestnut colored.
I love that. That's gonna pair so well with those booties. That's gonna be perfect. Yeah. That's perfect for fall. It's giving all the fall vibes that it needs to give. It's giving. Even though that wasn't a treat of the week, I'm here for it. Yeah. Fall wardrobing in general, whether it's beauty, whether it's the hair, because honey, she has not talked about these fresh set of
brand new knotless. I decided to do knotless the rest of the year. I just need to get my hair a break. I just wanted to grow, be healthy. Talk about treat of the week. Luxury is hair care. Is your hair being lit with or without extensions, weave, braids. So want to just wear my little knotless. So I did get them redone.
And it gives you your time back.
Oh my goodness. That is the number one benefit. Easily. Hands down. I can wake up in the morning and go. If I have a meeting at 8 a.m., I can get up at 7:45.
I love that.
I
so love that. Clearly, she influenced your girl. Okay,
yes, and you're doing it well.
Yeah,
because the knotless look good.
Thanks,
it is giving 90s glam.
Thanks, sis. You know,
yes.
all the poetic justice that's given around here.
You must be my soul sister.
Okay. We know the vibes.
Period. Well, speaking of soul sisters, we are soul sisters on more than one level because we are talking about business this week, and we are both business owners.
Yes.
So we haven't really talked much about our businesses, starting a business, entrepreneurship, and it seems like a natural topic choice because we own our businesses. But better late than never. So I guess that's what we're getting into this week.
Yeah, and it's a pillar of this podcast.
It is.
You know, it truly is a pillar of this podcast.
It is.
So we both were like, oh my God, we can't believe that we haven't addressed this yet. In the first 8 episodes, it took episode 9 to address this. But I think that we were looking at feedback from, our listeners. We were paying attention to what's currently in the climate and what was pressing. But I believe that this is still right on time because throughout this pandemic, as it gets colder, as you still have inflation going up, you have minimum wage going up, but also at the same time, we're overworked and everyone's trying to figure out how can they create more streams of income. I believe that this was the ordained time for us to still talk about this.
Amen.
So this is perfect.
Let's get into it then. So I guess we can start off by just kind of introducing our businesses, and then we'll just kind of talk y'all through what things we've learned along the way. We'll share whatever tips we have. It'll just be free flow about all things entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. And I think a perfect segue, social media is clearly going to be involved in this, right? But I know this week, literally, Whitney has went viral so many times. And it's a testament. I would say viral enough. It may not be the million, but for the ratio of followers to exposure,
that's very true.
You know, you've literally managed to do that quite often. But what made me bring that up is just because we were talking about businesses. And I'm just thinking about the Cedar House. I'm thinking about Whitney's Kitchen Co. And, you know, what you're doing this week. I know you're rolling out some content. But that was just on the top of my mind. So I definitely wanted, why don't you tell us about your businesses, whichever one. I know you're working on the Cedar House right now. And that's more of a priority. And also it's more accessible to your lifestyle right now. But I wanted you to kickstart this talking about the Cedar House because I know that's near and dear and special. You've been doing a lot of work on it.
It is. So the Cedar House is my for-profit company that I started. So it is a home decor firm. We specialize in furniture rehab. We find pieces that have been abandoned, that people don't want anymore, that need a little bit of love. And then we make them poppin', resell them, and we get your home cute. So that is what we do. With the Cedar House, my nonprofit, so I have a for-profit and a nonprofit. So the Cedar House was second. My first business and my baby is Whitney's Kitchen Co. That is a nonprofit. That is where we dedicate all of our resources to making to bringing home to people without houses, right? So we go out, we do these big home cooked meals like you would get at your grandma's house.
Genuinely,
like
grandma's
home cooked, scratch cooked, seasoned. We serve them hot, like
look at my fingers.
Yes, girl. So we serve that. We do things for the holidays, like anything that brings the comforts of home. Like last year for Christmas, it was like, what can we do to bring, like, what's like one of those homey type of things that you do for Christmas? And we thought about like stockings, right? Like, like everybody loves like waking up Christmas morning and you get the stocking and you're like, oh child, what's in my stocking? So we pack it, like loaded up a bunch of stockings with like snacks and gift cards and necessities, essentials, and they love that. So we do stuff like that. So that's what I have. I have a nonprofit and a for-profit. The parent company for both of those two is gonna kind of make it into 3 businesses, but it's really one company with 2 arms. So I just built the arms out separately. I built out the nonprofit sector first, just because that was the part that the Lord gave to me first. That was the part that I was assigned to first. That was the part that is nearest and dearest to my heart. And then I rolled out the for-profit side, the side where I can make some money. I can use my gifts to benefit my pockets, build some wealth.
Absolutely.
Built that out. And now I run both. So to Alicia's point, because I work so much right now, normally we do Sunday dinners for Whitney's Kitchen Co. We took off the month of August, September, October, just because I started working. I couldn't do that on Sundays because I work every Sunday. But in the interim, like you said, I do a lot of the Cedar House. So especially over this last month or so, I have had a ton of, so what you're talking about is I've had like 7 different items. I've had like a bedroom set, a coffee table, bar stools, like, what else do I have in my, a dining table, a bench. Girl, I had just like a garage full of furniture that had just kind of been stacking up, because what happens is as I'm driving through like neighborhoods or apartment complexes, I see a piece, I'm like, oh, I could flip that, and I'll grab it and I put it in my Jeep. We go home, put it in my garage. Child was drowning in furniture. I had like 9 or 10 pieces in my garage, and so I took a week off of work. Truly, that should have been one of my treats of the week, for real. But I took a full week off of work. Y'all know I'm a project manager by trade, and we just rolled out our intranet, which is the project that I have been working on all of this year. I had to do a significant amount of training for that. So after that was done, I took a week off, and I dedicated that week to just finishing these pieces so that I can put them up for sale, get them out of my garage, flip them, all that good stuff. So long story short, those are my businesses. I have one parent company that is yet to be established. That'll come next year, but I rolled it out in phases, and I'll get into the process and the way that I rolled out my businesses a little bit later. But I rolled it out in phases. So the nonprofit arm came first, for-profit arm came second, and then I'll do the parent company next year sometime. But yeah, that's me. I mean, I'm all things home, so I have a home decor firm, furniture rehab and redesign.
Do we get those ads? Give the ads to the people.
Yes. Now this part I'm terrible at. Alicia will tell you I'm so bad at like pushing my businesses. But at Shop Cedar House. So at shop, like get your bag and come shopping. Shop Cedar House. CEDARHOUSE. So that is the design firm. And then Whitney's Kitchen Co. is the nonprofit at Whitney's Kitchen Co. So if you want to see food, and that's really what I found. I found like half of my followers are like, sis, I'm just here for the plates. I'm just here for the food. And then you have other people that's like, when are you gonna paint something? When are you gonna take something apart?
It's interesting, and I think that a lot of time, literally, people come to Whitney's Kitchen Co. From what I see, outside looking in, people will come to Whitney's Kitchen Co. because they want recipes, they want to see the process, but then also you have these beautifully curated and designed plates, literally, to where all the time I'm telling Whit, I'm like, Whit, yo, you should do catering, or hey, I need you to cater this for me. And she's had multiple friends, you know, which she's catered events for, which is not necessarily where you're trying to go with that. I'll be the first to say that. And to be honest, for Whit, you know, God has given her the mission with Whitney's Kitchen Co. that is clearly for creating that home cooked meal and curating that experience for those without home. So that's where it is, and you can always donate to that. She won't tell you that, but I will. You can always donate.
You can. We are a 501c3 federally recognized nonprofit. You can donate on our website. You can donate to me directly. If you do, I'll get you all your tax paperwork for the end of the year. But yes, you can donate. Appreciate you for the plug. Okay. And I'll get into, we can talk through like later, because I want you to get into Speak Prosperity. But we'll talk through like narrowing down, right, like your mission. Because I think all businesses go through this. Okay, what am I going to focus on? Or what is going to be my lane? What am I going to hone in on? Because you can't do it all. And I think a lot of people jump in like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's like, slow your roll, right? Like, you know, find your niche, find your target audience. Exactly. And that takes trial and error, starting and stopping, rebranding, redesigning, all that good stuff, and which we will get into. We'll go into that. But tell us about Speak Prosperity LLC. My number one athletic wear brand. That is all the t-shirts that I wear, child. It's not athletic wear brand, but it can function as such. I even wear it as athletic. I wear it as sleepwear. I wear it as I work out in it. So Speak Prosperity LLC is a it's for-profit, faith-based platform dedicated to assisting individuals in becoming better from a 360 standpoint. So that is not limited to, but it encompasses spiritually, financially, physically, psychologically. So we literally, we address and we speak to the individual as a whole. So again, we do that via daily words of wisdom. We do that through curated gospel playlists that are updated weekly. We do that through, of course, our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We also have a website in which we blog. And then the money maker there would be the apparel, the faith and inspirational based apparel. But we also have a YouTube channel as well. So pretty much the website is speakprosperityllc.net. That's what trips a lot of people up. But you can Google Speak Prosperity LLC and it will bring up all of our socials. Going to our website alone will bring you to the rest of our socials. It'll be tapped in at the very top. So again, we're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. But we're in all those different places. And again, we're just, at this point in time, we're just doing what God told us to do to get the word out to his people in the way that he sees fit and he's called me to. And again, so I'm just trying to be a good steward of what he's called me to. And, you know, again, what that looks like is constantly rebranding as God has, you know, given us instruction and direction on how we're going to do that. That causes for a lot of rebrands. So I've had several, and honestly, we're going through one right now. And, you know, what Speak Prosperity, it is to be determined and to be introduced, but it will be completely
shifting lanes in sorts. So more to come on that, but that's where we currently are, and I'm really excited about that. It's something that God gave to me. It's not what I imagined, but I can't see me doing anything else besides God's will. So we're riding this thing until the wheels fall off, and that's what it is. But it's definitely a for-profit business, but of course you can always donate to it, but we're not 501c3. So we're not 501c3. So if God has not placed on your heart, do not donate. Is what I say, because God will provide every need through his riches and glory at the end of the day. So hey,
well stored up
from my paycheck to the merchandise, which funds the business, and honestly my personal funds help fund the business. The YouTube and the maintenance and all that different stuff. So, and of course a lot of time and dedication just goes into it. But that's the main business that I have, but more to come on my consulting firm that I'm currently in the process of building for business and credit consulting. So business 101 and credit consulting.
Girl, that is so perfect for you. Oh my goodness.
I'm super excited.
I've been like pushing Alicia's like, you need to do speaking, you need to do consulting. So like I'm very, very excited that you're going down this
And that's, you know what, and this is an exclusive because that's exactly what God is telling me to do. Yeah. Even with Speak Prosperity, I'll still have it, but it's something else that God is really calling me to, in a way to shift Speak Prosperity's purpose and mission. But it's becoming intertwined with my own, and it's something I've been kicking God on and fighting him on, but at the end of the day, God's will be done, you know.
Now, are you thinking that it'll have like a whole new name? Is it going to be like
it's going to be a whole new name. It's going to be a completely different business.
Wow.
It's going to be an LLC, and it's going to be for profit. But so I'm just allowing God to speak. He's giving me some things, but I don't know exactly what I'll be doing, but it definitely will be heavily upon speaking. It will include teaching, children. So I'm just excited. I can't believe this is Prime Ep, but when God gives you something, you just have to go. And I'm sure that's a testament to Whitney's Kitchen Co. When he gives you something, you just have to go.
Yeah.
You have to go.
I love it. I love it.
I'm excited.
So one common thing that I heard both in my stories and in yours is this concept of the business is going through this pruning process where they kind of take shape. Yeah. I think one thing that people don't tell you about entrepreneurship that I wish that they told you was that your business will take multiple forms before it hits its final form. You know what I mean? Like Absolutely. You will go through more than likely several different iterations of marketing, right? Brand identity. So your logo, your website, your color schemes, your Instagram timelines. You'll probably go through multiple areas.
Layout.
Yeah, Jesus. Product offerings, what you sell, who your target audience is, where you want to focus, how you want to do your marketing. All of that stuff you should go into starting your business with that being flexible, right? Absolutely. That's not to say that you should go into it without being clear on what it is that you want to do or accomplish.
Correct.
But you should be very clear on your destination, and you should be solid on your vehicle, but the path you should be open to. Does that make sense? Like you should be like, I know what car I'm taking, and I know where I'm trying to go.
But I'm flexible as to what road I'll take and what turns I might have to, endure throughout the process.
You got it. Because one thing that you'll find is that you can't do it all, right? If you're like me, you have a lot of interest, a lot of talents, a lot of things that you could do, and you can't do it all. You mentioned like the cooking thing, like people. I know at my funeral, people gonna be like, I sure wish she would have
macaroni.
I sure wish she would have just started selling plates.
Really. And it would boom. I think I did literally to highlight that. I'm not gassing because this is my sis, Yeah. I'm not gassing her, but I think that it's important to highlight this so you guys can get the picture. Whit could easily become a chef, sell plates, and literally become one of the top chefs in Dallas, one of the top chefs in general. She literally has a talent for it. I'm not gassing her. I'm just saying.
It feel like gas. It feel like premium. It feel like premium unleaded.
But it's not, because literally the plates that you see from Salt Bae and a lot of these other prominent influencers and foodies and chefs, Whit's plates look just as good. They look just as good. They taste just as well, but that's not what God has called her to. that is not the talent that she's decided to hone in on. That's not what she's decided to do with her life. And that's not the business. That's not the thing, the skill, the habit, the enjoyment, that's not what you have decided to monetize. I think that's also important to highlight.
And that's
about that before.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Like for me, because I did give it a try, right? So when Whitney's Kitchen Co. first started, it didn't start out as a business at all. It started off as, y'all know, that I had my single stay-at-home mom wife without kids or man season probably 2 years ago.
It's
now.
about 2 years.
I don't know how long it was.
2019.
Yeah, but it was right around the same time. So in that time, I stopped working. I just took some time for myself, and it was 2 things I started doing: DIY stuff around the house, like decor, flipping, building things, which I had a dabbled in that before, but I really delved into that. And then cooking. Those are the 2 things. I literally was watching guys' grocery games, y'all, literally every day, and I would just eventually be like, I can do this. Let me go to the Kroger and see can I make a deluxe appetizer for $12 or less, right? And what I found was that I love cooking, and I love cooking as an act of love, right? Cooking to me is something that is very intimate. It's something that is a service that you do to serve the people in your life, right? And so when you do that, for me, turning that into a business, trying to monetize it, puts what should be an act of love, or what feels most comfortable as an act of love, into an act of grinding, hustling, and it takes away all the magic.
And duty.
Like, yeah, it feels like such a burden. I absolutely hate cooking for profit. Like, I hate it very much, very much. They always say that what you should do for money, or the intersection of your
hobbies.
Yeah, hobbies and talent, and what you could do every day, right, is your purpose. I couldn't do that every day. I don't cook every day, not even for myself. Like you know what I mean? So I don't know that I could do that every day, but what I can do every day is make stuff pretty. To Alicia's point, I make my plates pretty. I make everything pretty.
It's true. She made mine beautiful. Be in the shop, Cedar House.
Yes.
Oh my God. We'll have to just like post that video.
Yeah.
I think at least on our stories, so you guys could just see some of the work from Shop Cedar House.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. But yeah, so to be flexible, right? To not be restrictive and feel like, well, I started out doing this, so I have to keep on that path. Correct. If it doesn't fit anymore, if people are suggesting that you do things one way and you try it but it doesn't work, be okay with standing and saying, hey, it's not for me. You know what I mean? Like, what about you? Like, what kind of led you to say, hey, because I know you were doing Speak Prosperity, but now you kind of are like, there's this other area that I want to explore and I want to branch it out and go into different territory. Like, what kind of inspired that?
I would say firstly and foremostly, for a person who is faith-led and faith-filled, or if that's the guide that you use for your life, which I would hope and pray for everyone. But specifically, that's my reality. So in my reality, I'm not doing anything if God isn't in it. If God hasn't instructed me to go, I'm not going to go. Now, sometimes I will make mistakes. I'm not perfect now. But with this, God told me to go when I started Speak Prosperity, and he gave me the vision. I mean, literally, I was in church and he just started telling me, like, okay, this is how you're going to do it. This is what you're going to sell. And these are going to be the pillars of the business. This is going to be your mission. I mean, I literally wrote it down in my notes. I wish I would have kept the note on my phone, but I was running out of space. I was deleting everything. I wish I would have kept that note, but literally God talked to me. He spoke to me and I listened and I wrote it down and I allowed that to be the blueprint. But if that was what I used in order to tell me to go, when God told me it was time to switch gears, I said, yes, Lord, that's what I'll do. So for me, being a person who is faith-centered and faith-focused, then I'm always praying to God, what am I not seeing? What is it that you need me to see here? What do you need me to see differently? Help me to shift my perspective to be more in alignment with what you've called me to do and what you want from my life. So with me, it's just always making sure that I put myself in position to where I can hear from God, and to where my relationship, not my religion with God, but my relationship with God is tight enough to where I have that open communication with him. So that's what let me know first and foremostly, okay, it's time to switch gears. But also at the same time, I would say you have to also take inventory of currently, always constantly be assessing, just like you would your finances, constantly be assessing the business, be assessing what's working, what is not working. If you notice that your engagement is declining, if you notice that sales are declining, if you notice that DMs telling you how this has impacted them is declining, then that is an indication that you need to shake some things up, that you're not truly reaching your target audience, or maybe your target audience has changed. And I think a lot of people, they dread arriving at the point that, hey, what I'm doing isn't working. That means I'll have to totally switch some things up.
Yeah. And
that's not necessarily true. What it means is that, yes, something has to change, or a few things have to change, but that doesn't mean that everything changes and that it's completely insurmountable. You just have to constantly assess your business. I like to do it monthly. I like to do it quarterly and annually as well for me. Some people may do it weekly, depending on what type of business that you're in, but I just like to constantly be assessing my business and say, okay, well, where am I declining? Where am I improving? And I just play to that. So if I know that engagement is going down, specifically with social media, that's a large portion of all of our businesses, then that means that I am not engaging the people that I used to. So either my target audience has shifted, or again, I'm just not effectively reaching them. So at that moment, then I'll consider restructuring my branding or coming up with fresh ideas, shaking something up, because I've learned that in business, nothing stays the same.
Nope.
Even when it's working, nothing stays the same. Something always needs to be changing. Something always needs to be giving a refresh. So don't be afraid to shake things up and try something new. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Has that been your experience?
That's 100% been it. My experiences have been very similar to that, right? And it also very much so, some people are planners and some people are like do as I goers. I definitely fall into the do as I go box. So some people feel more comfortable, and there's no right or wrong way to approach this. Some people feel more comfortable having a plan, a thought out strategy, a way in which they're going about it. Other people just kind of hop in and like, I'll learn how to swim or I'll drown, right? And I'm like
swim
that
by
very
default.
much.
Learn how to swim by default.
Yeah, and so I work better on the fly, right? Pivoting on the fly. So I started out like with Whitney's Kitchen Code. I just started out by doing what I like. That started out as just a lifestyle blog.
It did recipes.
It did.
Oh my God.
It really started out as couponing. If we keep it in a bucket, it started out as called Life with Whitney. It was a blog that I started when I left my corporate job. Yeah. When I left my corporate job, because I was like, I just want to take people along with like what I'm doing, right? Because I was just, y'all, I cannot say housewife life enough. I was cooking coupons. Like I was just
making candles.
I started Internal Beauty Co., which I still love.
Literally,
that's good. That will become
that rose water. Literally, the rose water. What was it, like a toner? Oh my God, y'all!
I made natural skincare products, and that's another thing to talk through. Like, it's okay if you, like most entrepreneurs, I think the statistic is on average they start 5 businesses before they hit one.
I'm not sure.
You know what I mean? Like, let me see.
I know for sure that you can expect that majority of businesses do fail in their first 5 years, and it takes about 2 years to even see a profit on average. So. While you're looking up that statistic.
Okay, let me see.
I mean, so it's okay to go through multiple businesses to figure out what your business of choice will be, or what business is going to be most fulfilling or most profitable to you. It's going to be a lot of trial and error. So don't feel like a failure when your business fails. Take that as an opportunity to learn to what you need to do better next time.
It's never failure in the beginning. Like something that I always try to say is that it's impossible to fail when you just start. You know what I mean? Like if you just starting a business, it's not failing. It's you just finding your way. You know what I mean? Like I said, it started off as a blog, and what happened was I was posting all type of stuff, right? Because I started making
No, it didn't. Child. Go on, drown. I'm so upset.
They're gonna drown. I'm just watching them drown. Just like, okay. But anyway, I was posting one type of content, right? I was posting coupon and stuff. I was in the stores every day, just kind of, and this, again, I like content creation. So again, it goes back to, I just like making videos, reels, stories. Like, I just like doing that. I like editing content. I work in tech. I build internet. So it's something I just like doing. But then what was happening was, people were like, oh, this coupon and stuff is fun. Oh, these candles are cute. But when I was cooking, they were like, we need an ebook. We need recipes. My followers started going up, and I was like, okay, y'all only here for the plates. Like, y'all are only here for the food. Well, what ended up happening was I just started cooking more because I enjoyed it. Like I told you, I was watching the guys' grocery games. At the time, I had one on like a Daniel's fast, and so I was cooking like vegan recipes, and people were just really loving that. And so people wanted ebooks, people wanted recipes, people wanted the traditional Instagram chef type of thing. I was against it from the beginning. I knew from the start that I didn't want to. But I tried it, right? For a little bit, I tried selling plates. I didn't like it. Did well, but didn't like it. But I moved to this beautiful, oh my gosh, still my favorite to this place, townhouse downtown. It was like in the heart of downtown. It's a beautiful townhouse.
The lighting was perfect for those plates.
And I remember telling God, like, because I just remember thinking, I had never lived downtown before. And I was like, how can I live in such a nice place? And if you're familiar with the city of Dallas, the place that I lived in was near Deep Ellum in the farmer's market.
Oh my God.
It was near the farmer's market, but
literally a 5-minute walk.
Yeah, the homeless population there is out of control. Like, it is so large, so many people who don't have houses, who don't have safe places to sleep and things like that. And so I remember telling the Lord, like, I'm making all of this food just because at the time I was going to try to do an ebook, like a recipe ebook, because that's what people were saying they wanted. This was years ago. And I just remember thinking, like, what am I going to do with all that extra food? Like, I'm going to have to cook so much food. Recipe testing requires you to literally just cook an entire dish multiple times and just fit until you get it right. So, like, if I was recipe testing macaroni and cheese, I would just make macaroni and cheese multiple times, tweaking different ingredients until I got it to where I wanted it to be. That's called recipe testing. But then what happens is at the end of it, you got 4 pans of macaroni and cheese, and you say, what do I do with all this macaroni and cheese?
Who do I hand it to? Like, who do I give it to?
And I remember telling God, like, you bless me to live in such a beautiful place. If I'm surrounded by people who don't have that same luxury, I want to be able to give them as much of that comfort as I can. And that was the birth of wanting to bring home to the homeless. So I was like, all of this stuff that I'm recipe testing for my ebook, I'm just give it away for free. Fell in love with that more than the dang old ebook. Never did the ebook, kept feeding the people. So then I just started using my own personal money. I was just feeding people every Sunday. No more ebook, nothing about recipes. Now I just do all that for free. I mean, I put it like on my stories. Yeah, I put it all on my stories as I'm cooking throughout Sunday dinners on the Wendy's Kitchen Co. story. I put recipes up there on the website. I put them on the website. Blog posts, like everything is just offered for free with Wendy's Kitchen Co. That's all just an act of love. But then with the Cedar House, that's
a profit.
Honey, with that one, that's an interesting because I had to pivot there because there I realized I don't like designing. And this is the first time that I've like publicly stated this, so I want to make sure that I word it right. I don't like interior decor for clients. I don't like designing people's houses without a certain budget. The reason for that is interior design is art, but it's very expensive, right? And so if people do not have the funding, what you would typically expect to pay an interior designer, right, is a minimum of $10,000 plus. Most firms have a furnishing budget, so you have to be able to supply $20 to $50K right off rip to buy furniture. The reason for that is if you can't decorate a house on like I want the cheapest possible options. I want, you know what I mean? Like
everything can't be a dupe.
Yeah,
everything doesn't have a dupe.
I want to get like whatever sofa I can get for $200, and then you just want me to make it look cute, and I don't like that. I don't like it. You know what I mean? Right. So that was how I learned with the Cedar House, because I started out with that, doing home decor, home styling, and it was and I realized it was so much work. It was so much physical labor, and there was little to no reward because people just couldn't afford it. And so I was doing it for free, and no, it made me very, very resentful. So then that's when I like really shifted to like, okay, because I had to take a break from that one because I was so frustrated from wanting to be able to design or decor or style in a specific way, but my customer base not being able to do that. And then that's when I realized like that'll have to come later down the road, but I just want to focus on furniture flipping. So that was a long-winded way of saying like your business will go through
different phases.
Yeah, where as it takes shape, just like you do as a person, right? As people, we start out one way when we're 13, and then by the time we're 35, we're a completely different person. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's a perfect point that you make, because as you grow as an individual, as your lifestyle, your demands, your needs, as those things grow and evolve, so will your business.
Exactly. It's the most important thing is that you started. Right, is that you get out there and you start doing things so that you can see what's working, what's not, what's hitting, what's not, what's selling, what's not, what works, doesn't work, what you like, what you don't.
And I thought that Whit made a perfect point, and you touched on it a little bit, but I know we've kind of talked about that to where Whitney was like, I would love to be able to design a home and give you $1,000 budget and only charge you $500, but the reality of that is it does not work. It's not profitable, but it's also not fair to you.
Yeah, it's not fair at all. And those numbers, right, $1,000 budget and then a $500, like people that if y'all knew that was 98% off, like that is literally me giving you 98% off, and that's me saying I'm gonna do whatever the best work I can is with the limited budget, with limited resources, right? So that you're not getting the best product that you could. And it's a luxury service. Interior design is a luxury service. And if you cannot afford to pay somebody and to pay for your things that go into your house, right? Because then people feel like, well, I got to buy furniture and pay you.
Yes, that's the whole point of having someone curate, because you're curating a luxury experience. You're curating an entire vibe. You're curating a palette. You know, and especially in a business when you're doing consulting. Okay, because again, that's an area that I'm moving into, so I can kind of speak to that as well. And then also that I've worked with Whitney. Whitney, I was one of those people that are, you know, quote unquote, where she helped me style my home. I can't really say I helped her build her portfolio, but she helped me style my home.
My friends with their houses too. I was like, you wasn't like leeching. I helped my friends.
You know, and legitimately with that, but she's curating palettes. So you tell them, oh, I want modern industrial, or in my case, it was Scandinavian glam. Okay, I want that. But then she created 4 mood boards. So 4 curated sets of designs that probably took multiple hours each board to create, then to present them to you and to have you choose one. And a lot of people, and in my case, some of them I got dupes, some of them I didn't. Some were completely like DIY pieces, but so that takes time. So again, imagine if I'm that client that wants DIY and dupe everything. Like I don't want to buy anything.
That's not getting.
So at that point, you have to understand that at this point, this person is put in, and then the install 10 to 20 hours. So
multiple visits to your resident.
Multiple visits.
I be hand hanging, hand mounting, hand drilling, building, setting up, and assembling furniture. It's wet. It's truly, it is a $20,000 to $30,000 service at minimum. And until I can get into the market where people will pay that, right? But people won't pay that until you build up a name for yourself. I don't want to build up a name for myself doing odd jobs. So I mean, what I can do is that furniture, and that's how I ended up again. Let yourself just filter through the process, go through the process. Because initially I thought, I'll start off doing a few for free. You know what I mean? Like I'll get the exposure, this and that. Even like people don't even like. It's not actually exposure because people don't even share it. They don't tag your business. They don't, you know what I mean? Like they just like appreciate you. Hope this works for your portfolio. And it's like, so I had to do all the marketing to my people.
I was hoping that you would help me do so. And so that's another piece. Well, it's a couple things I want to comment on there. But I think that's something that we realized, to your point of, I'll say this, I'll add to that point about Because it's not all about money, but at the same time it is. If you're running a for-profit business, and that's the part that people don't want to talk about. It is for-profit.
And it's
not for free.
Because I run a nonprofit.
If you want to run a nonprofit, run a nonprofit.
Because I do one business where I don't charge for anything. Yeah. And so, and Alicia will tell you, I have a hard time charging. Until I started putting in how much physical work I put in. The Cedar House is so much physical man labor. Like it's literally me in my garage. Like it is physical labor. You know what I mean? Like so, it is that's that right now for free. I do a whole lot for free, and it's a lot for free. I give free recipes, free lessons, free tips on decor, free design tips, free blog posts, free meals, free. Y'all gonna pay me for the first
free inspo. You know, inspo that you have to sift through and create. And I would say to that point, you know, it is okay. It is absolutely okay to set your price where you set your price.
Yes.
And find your target audience that can afford your price.
Yes.
And I think that that's the thing too. You want to make it affordable. I want to make things affordable. I want them to be reasonable to the people that I know or that I have access to.
They understand that is what you're setting as your market.
Right.
Like understand that is what you're setting as your market.
1000%. And you better believe, I will also share this nugget, that same target audience or the market that you're establishing that, well, they can only afford this for this type of service, or this is what they'll consider as reasonable. They will go and they will give $2,000 to Louis Vuitton. They will go and give $500 to Michael Jordan. They will go and give $300 to Yeezys when they can't afford it. So at the end of the day, your price is always reasonable. It is always realistic, but for the target audience that is truly intended for. And at the end of the day, those people, your family or friends that you wish that you could service, please understand that it's not that you're doing them a disservice, because if they deem your service as desirable, just like they did Louis Vuitton or, freaking Dolce & Gabbana or Ferragamo or a lot of these different luxury brands, Gucci, YSL, Nike, you better believe they would spend it on your business. They would spend it on your business. Yeah. So stop tailoring your price and your target audience and your niche to the market that you have access to or that's around you. Your family, your friends, they're not your target audience. They are not. And you cannot treat them as such. But your target audience, they are out there. You have to pinpoint them and you have to come up with a strategy on how can I gain access to that market? How can I build up my name to where I can, be desired amongst that market? And I would say even to speak to that with Speak Prosperity, I remember I started off and I was selling shirts for $10, $20.
But you used to be ripping shirts out the trunk.
$15.
Challenger, baby.
Literally out the trunk of my Challenger. And the thing that I thought about was, even though I knew I could make way more of a profit, even though I knew that the quality of these shirts were greater than the $15 I was charging for them, I was like, but I want to be reasonable for the people, my family, my friends, and to people out there. I want to consider them, and I want them to have a shirt that is nice, that's well put together, that's inspirational, that is faith-based, that is for a good price. That was my thought. I wanted to make it accessible. But here's a funny thing to that. What people don't tell you is that when you make a price, quote unquote, accessible, or when you're considering that audience that you might have access to, a lot of the times when people see an item and they see it lowly priced, they're going to say, well, it must be low quality. That's also a reality as well. Or because of the price, they'll assume, well, I want something that's more expensive. Yeah. If it's more expensive, it's better quality. So you also have that notion or that societal norm that because it is more expensive, then it must be a better service or a better quality product. So what I found myself doing is, no, these shirts or these hoodies, they're worth X. And I'm offering and putting myself in the mindset of abundance to where, yes, even though family, friends, or the art markets that I might have access to, they would much rather afford a $30 hoodie. But I sell a Luxe product. I want to sell a Luxe product. Okay, let me offer what it's worth, at least $50. Yeah. So that's what I did with Speak Prosperity. I went through two price increases.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? They sold more. When I started offering luxury products, when I started offering a better, a more luxurious product and a new fabric,
mm-hmm.
and when I took those prices up, they almost doubled. And guess what? They sold 3 times. The sales increased 300%.
Yeah.
I outsold how much I earned in the prior year, literally within the first 2 months, the first quarter. So don't be afraid of your service or your product being a little bit pricier or more luxurious, because guess what? It's made for a different target audience.
Mm-hmm.
It's made for a different type of clientele, and that's okay. It's just your job as that entrepreneur, that CEO, to find out, how do I get access into that space?
Mm-hmm.
Like Whitney was talking about earlier. So I just had to pause and add that onto there and say that that's 1000% true.
Yeah, no, that's it. You have to just figure out, how do I get there? How do I get to my target market? Like, I think that's a good, what would you say if you could choose 3 things to tell anybody who was exploring entrepreneurship? Just tips from your journey, things that you've learned, things you wish you would have known. Like, what 3 tips would you share?
I would do not start branding until you have properly formed your business as the corporation or LLC that it is.
Really?
So until you have developed your business structure and have that set in stone, do not start branding. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people, they'll build out an Instagram, they'll build out a Facebook, but they haven't solidified the name.
Yeah.
So now they have a logo, they have these social media pages, they have business cards, they have all these different things to market their business, and it's not even marketed as the actual business structure, or maybe they might have to change the name because it's taken. So I would suggest you have to start at the business structure. Get the business structure established and then build out from there. Okay. So establish your legal side of it first, whether that's trademarking.
Would you say that they should pay for like their, because I've heard it both ways. I've heard people say that you shouldn't pay for your legal formation documents until your business is actually running and okay, I'm not gonna change it, this is what I'm actually gonna do? Or do you think that they should even do you think they should just have a plan, or are you saying that they should pay for the formation documents, pay for their name, pay for the copyright, pay for everything before starting?
I would say you need to know for sure what it is that you're going to do. Okay. So you need to have the business, you need to have the mission, you need to have the entire business plan, you need to know for a fact that's what you're going to do. I'm not saying that you cannot start operating the business, but I would just say before you actually establish business cards, social media handles, handle the legal side of it first. Because oftentimes people, they'll think that a name is really original and that it hasn't been taken, but it's already trademarked and it's trademarked in your field. Yeah. So you can't register.
Yeah, and you can verify that even if you don't, because even if you don't choose to do the legal stuff just yet, or if you don't have money or you want to get started or whatever the case may be, you can verify. Go to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office website. It'll be USPTO. You can literally just search trademark search on Google.
Test will pop up. And at least SS.
Yeah, exactly. You got
at least make sure the name isn't taken. Is what I'm saying.
That your name isn't taken.
Of course, my recommendation is still going to be establishing that business structure, but at the very least, the main reason why I would say that is because I want to make sure that you're not building all of that in vain. Yeah. And you get to it and you're like, wow, it's trademarked. So all the work that I just did goes in vain. I have to change all my Twitter handles, all the following that I built up. People have tagged me, they've hashtagged my name. Now I have to completely change all of that. So that's why I would suggest that first. The second thing that I would say is do not, I just recently said it, do not expect your family and friends to be your target audience. And do not expect them to support you. Not that we're being pessimistic or anything like that, but it's just from a realistic standpoint, because a lot of people get their feelings hurt. They fall out with family and friends because, why aren't you supporting my business?
Just to call out on that part, your family, even if they do support you, how many shirts can they buy? How many shirts can your mama and your daddy buy? How many of your products can they buy? They can be your client once. If I was catering, they can hire me for events, but I can't, my livelihood can't ride on the backs of my friends and family. I don't think that entrepreneurs always see that as unfair, but it is unfair to feel, because then you basically telling your family and your friends, I want to stop working and I want you to pay for me to do that.
Correct.
You know,
and then we're and I see it all the time, and I'm so disheartened every time it happens. I'm seeing, people on Facebook, Facebook, yeah, anytime I post anything about me turning up or doing this, doing that, everyone's quick to comment, like, or share. But whenever I post something about my business, you won't even share it. And it's just like,
I'm supposed to share.
Well, I mean, sis, they can't share every post. Like, how many? I can't even make it make sense to my followers for why I'm constantly posting your business. They'll stop watching my stuff, and then me promoting my business will be in vain because now I have less exposure to even promote my business or other stuff I'm interested in. So, fair enough that you're putting too much strain and pressure on them, and I think that a lot of people do that. They're being emotional when we do that, but we're also being unrealistic. But then also, I think that they do that to kind of circumvent doing the work. And that's my last point. Do not think that as an entrepreneur that you won't be working 2 times as hard as your 9 to 5. Most likely you will. Your 9 to 5 is 9 to 5. You have set hours that you are literally contracted to do work for. When you're an entrepreneur, you are a walking billboard of your business 24/7. You are working around the clock. I forget the Elon Musk quote that he had, but essentially it was somewhere along the lines of, if you are looking for entrepreneurship to be easy, or if you're looking for the easy way out, then essentially don't become an entrepreneur. If you're not willing to do more work than you did at your 9 to 5, don't become an entrepreneur. There is no easy way out. You have to put in the work. So those would be my 3 things.
Yeah.
What about you?
For my 3, for my first one, I would definitely say to be fluid and to be creative, right? So I would say to start with what you love or what you are good at. Either of the 2, right?
Love that.
Whatever you love or are good at. And then start doing that. Just start it. Figure out what you can do to generate income using that. Figure out, is it something that I like to do enough that I can do it, to your point, all the time, right? That this is something I can do every day, that I can do multiple times a week, multiple times a day if need be, right? Figure that part out, and then let your business take shape based off of what is profitable for you. But let yourself be creative and fluid in that beginning stage. It's like I always see people get hung up on getting everything perfect and not just starting. Like the biggest key to starting a business is freaking starting it. So once you check, to your point, to make sure that your name isn't taken, that legally the business name that you want to roll with is free to use, just start. Just start. Trust that you will change things. You will change your strategy. You will probably want to change your brand colors or update your website, but start. That is my very first thing. My second thing is going to be to develop a marketing plan early on. So something that I truly struggle with is pushing for sales. I do very well from a content creation standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, but consistency in marketing requires so much time. I wish that I knew how much time it took to maintain the social media accounts for a business, right? Like at the bare minimum, if I only had an Instagram for both my businesses, that would be a full-time job to maintain that social media to the level that it needs to be maintained. You're talking multiple posts a day, bare minimum multiple posts a week, right? They need to be originally curated posts. They need to be original content. That means you need to be doing things within your business to give you content for. So that's a lot, right? And that's not even talking through managing other channels, managing your website, managing blogs, email newsletters. Start an email newsletter. One thing that I do for all of my businesses, whenever I'm about to pre-launch, whenever I build my website, I put a box in there for people to submit their email addresses.
Exactly.
The reason for that is, even if you don't ever send one email, your phone's about to die. Even if you don't, it's still recording, yeah. Even if you don't ever send one email, you will have that as a channel of communication to your customers, right? People are always signing up for my mailing list anytime. Like literally every day, almost like weekly, I get subscriptions for either of my businesses just based off of people stumbling on my website, people coming across my Instagrams, somebody shouting me out and somebody being like, oh, what's that? And then they'll go click on it. Of course, they go to your website. If the first thing that pops up is, hey, sign up, stay up to date on this, and that for the Cedar House. I'm about to roll out a brand new business model for it, and I'm very, very, very excited. But it's going to be super newsletter based. The reason for that is that it gives you a direct line of communication to your customers. So if Instagram goes down, if Facebook goes down, if any of your social media platforms go down, you are still able to make your money to communicate with your customers, to contact your clients. The last thing that I would say to do is to surround yourself with people who are trying to do the same things. Mm-hmm. This was something that I didn't do until later on, and if I would have done it earlier, it would have made all the difference. Like having friends. I'm surrounded by a phenomenal circle of men and women, but especially women who are trying to start their own businesses, who are getting their passion projects off the ground, and it does wonders for my mental health, for my ability to withstand, to push through, to be surrounded by people who are doing the same thing, right? We bounce ideas off of each other. We talk about the struggles that we're having. We talk about the frustrations that we're having.
Don't fall into this ditch, lessons learned.
Yeah. So that for sure is that we encourage each other, we send each other, like keep going, all that good stuff. So those would be my 3: to be fluid and be creative, get started. Just start, be creative, and start with the intention to be flexible and to let it take its own course, right? But to start.
For sure.
My number 2, like I said, is to get a marketing plan in order. Find a way to manage that, because you have to do it, but it takes so much time. And if you're like me, you will get caught in the trap of, I don't have the time, but it needs to be done, but I'm not doing it because I don't have the time. So then my business is feeling the effects of that, right? So you go this back and forth. And then surround yourself with people who are trying to build, trying to go where you're going, all that good stuff. Those would be my 3 tips.
I love those.
Yeah.
That's solid. Dang, did we miss anything?
I don't think so. I think that's a good intro to entrepreneurship. That's a good exploring entrepreneurship topic, and we can definitely get deeper into this if y'all want to go deeper into some of the topics that we talk about: financing your business, marketing your business, increasing sales,
dropping in the
brand
comments.
Let us know. We can, like we did with the financing, we can make it a series if y'all want to. It's all good with us, so.
As well, for sure. And like I said, again, I haven't officially launched a consultant firm, but business 101, that's going to be my thing. Credit 101.
Yeah.
And then as well, I do business banking. That is my full-time job. So please tap into us. We have a ton of experiences. We have multiple businesses that we started, from nonprofits to for-profits to LLCs. So just use us as resources. We're not saying that we know everything, but we definitely have value to add. I'm sure you guys have value to add as well. Our Luxe Ladies out there. So let's just tap in and continue to build with one another. And
Amen. Well, on that note, I hope y'all make a lot of money this week. I hope you do something nice for yourself, for the people that you love. And I hope you pray before you go to bed.
Amen.
That's it.
Amen.
Cheers.